Yahweh up in the kingdom, yeah.
Who are we? Israel. That who are we? Israel. Can't hear you.
Israel.
Who's the power?
Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai's the power,
I said, who's the power?
Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai's the power, yeah. I'm chilling.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
We're here at the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. We're here in Norfolk, Virginia, at 2016 Granby Street. And we also have the other locations in Houston, Virginia, Rochester, San Antonio. The locations, the dates, the classes, and the addresses should be up there on the screen. So she's definitely going to put that up there. And then we also have the different streams. One of them being the Blog Talk Radio, which is Maccabees. Maccabees hosting the Blog Talk Radio alongside CHAAZAQYA, right? And a group of other brothers, Banabad and things of that nature. You know, years of classes just online. And so when you're waking up in the morning, you can just definitely stream that and check those out. And then we also have the Hidden Truth Bible Show, the Israelite Media Corp, the 5 Minutes of Wisdom, right? So these are different streams in which you can just learn the Bible, learn the truth, and understand your culture, and just different ways to look. Just you get to see the different ways the Most High's wisdom can just be interpreted and understood. So we also got the kids classes too. That's on Sundays. That's live, right, at 1 p.m. So we also do Israel wear. We do have the Israel wear, so we accepted all orders for Israel wear as well too. And we have the fringed up, which you can definitely sign up for that. You can get the t-shirts, or you can get the t-shirt and the headband on fringed up. And she's also putting that information on the screen as well. So if you want to get the website and everything like that, so you can definitely do that as well. So those are definitely dope. The shirts, the headbands, everything. The designs are dope. I think this month's style was about the fruits of the spirit, right? Yeah, so that was definitely a nice shirt and headband. And we have Hebrew Academy as well. So we definitely have the Hebrew Academy, and that's for brothers that want to give themselves to the Most High, to the body. Like the Most High told, like Christ told Peter, if you love me, feed my sheep. So if you love the Most High, you love your people, you love your nation, you love righteousness. You want to feed your people. This is the avenue. Hebrew Academy is definitely the avenue if you want to be able to endeavor in this work. So we have that in Norfolk, Virginia, and Rochester, and then we have it in Houston as well. In Houston, they do the Zoom. So if you're not local, you can tune in with their Hebrew Academy, and she has the days up as well. So we also to where you can contact the priest. You can text them during class if you have a question. But we have the YouTube chat, so you can definitely tap in through the YouTube chat. You got the brother and sister at the door. The door. So they have you can definitely contact them for any questions. Priest CHAAZAQYA and Priest CHAAZAQYA, their number on the screen. And counseling, just anything. You need to understand the John 3:16 breakdown, anything, any question you have, right? You can get that answered. And we have the sweet ambiance as well. So we have the businesses, the sweet ambiance, the chosen creations, right? And you can definitely check those two things out. We definitely, that's what we use to, be able to be free from the world, so we don't have to be around the rest of these nations. But we can work amongst ourselves and be around each other, but then also facilitate for the school, most importantly. Facilitate so we can have these school buildings to be able to do the work, teach it freely, day in and day out. So yeah, you can definitely check those out. And then also we have the setting to where you can donate if you like. If you're being in the kindness of your heart, the willingness of your heart, if you like to donate, you can do that as well. So yeah, that's basically for today on just the announcements. So does anybody got any questions? What's going on, Miles? You doing good? Yes, sir. Nice to see you again, man. Yeah. So, yeah, just give everybody some time to come into the chat, the YouTube, right? I see Gamar LJ, Samaria, everybody. So, yeah, just give everyone some time for the questions. We're gonna wait. All right, yeah. Why you smiling at me?
Because I love you, man. Because I love you, sir.
Kinda.
Thank you, sir.
Right? Yeah, so just see if everybody got any questions. How about you, Miles? You have any questions, man? Just
Not right now, but I mean, sure.
okay. Just take it in. Right? How about you, sis? Take it in. Okay. Everybody just taking it in. Yeah, so it's gonna be a good class today. You know, a very, very needed one. Just for that, you know, everybody just examining that. It's about like self-examination. Us just examining ourselves and just seeing, you know, where we at spiritually. You know, where we at with our relationship and our loyalty to the Most High, to our nation. So this is gonna be a good class. Let me see. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, you just on the link? Okay. Put some more. Let me see. Topic. Yeah. Everybody had a good day?
Come.
Okay. Smooth. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah. How'd y'all like yesterday's class though?
Wow. I'm a big advocate of history, especially for Israel.
Yeah, that's kind of like one of those, we basically just everybody online. We went over you reap what you sow yesterday in yesterday's class. Just about, you know, why is the Most High, you know, judging the nations? You know, why are they getting the level of judgment that they're going to get in the future for the way that they dealt with us. So that's kind of like our class with yesterday, and you know, on a historical aspect, but it was a needed one because we're new sisters, we're new brothers, you know. So I know that, but yeah. So let me see something real quick before we get started. Yeah, any questions in the chat? Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Who's here last Friday for last week's class? Okay. How was that?
Very well. I like it.
Right?
Yeah, because it makes you double check. It makes you examine yourself. You know, and it makes you really look in depth and look at your purposes, the purposes of how you move and operate. You know, because you're thinking you're rolling in the spirit one minute, but then the perception of what you think you're doing is off.
Right.
And so you look like an angel.
Calm. Yeah, so it was actually gonna do a little part 2 of that today too, so that's the good part about that. You know, I always like those type of topics because it kind of just makes you just basically examine, like you said, examine yourself, and you just look into yourself, and it makes you wonder, like, well, damn, what am I doing that's kind of like holding me where in my part? Because everybody, each one of us play a part in just building the kingdom, you know, because we make up the kingdom, right? Because everything else is just a material, but we make up the kingdom because the Most High is building it for us. And it's like, what role, what place do I want to play? You know, what stamp of, what memorial do I want to leave behind in history? when the Most High comes back. You don't want to be on the left-hand side or the right-hand side of history. So, yeah, it's a lot. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Get 2 seconds. Before we start. He said he couldn't hear me. Can barely understand anything said. The sound is off. Okay. Could you hear me now? The sound is off. Can barely understand anything said. Right? Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna start the class. This is part 2 to the last class I went over. Of course I came in a little late, but we're gonna go just to reiterate. Let's go to that first Maccabees 1. So we're gonna go to that first Maccabees 1.
First Maccabees chapter 1.
1 and verse 11. Just to reiterate, bring everybody back into the mentality of the class, right? The theme. So, go ahead.
First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 11. In those days were there out of Israel wicked men.
So, in that time period, in the Maccabean time period, which was the time when we was enslaved by the Greeks, it's saying they went out of Israel, wicked men. So, and just think about the title of the class. It says, "Are you an agent?" Right? And this is part 2. So, this is a historical record. The Bible is a history book, and this is us going over historical records about our people and our history, right? And how we conducted ourselves and played a part in our fall. And right now we're in slavery. We're not in the shackle of slavery, but we're coming out of it. The Most High is raising us back up. He's teaching us who we are. We're learning that we're Israel. We're learning that the people on this 12 tribe sign are God's chosen people. Well, now how do we avoid being these same individuals in this time period? And how do we know what characteristics that we're carrying within ourselves now that's causing us to be this individual? Right? It says in those days they went out wicked men. Well, what was a wicked man? What were they doing that was wicked? Read.
Who persuaded many.
So they were persuading many. But what were they doing in the persuasion? Read.
Saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
So they were persuading the people to go make a covenant, a bond, a pact with the heathen. So the heathen being another nations. So they was trying to persuade our people, let's go bond with them. Let's go be like them. Let's go engage in the same acts that they're engaged in. Right? Let's build up coliseums, gyms, just like those people. Right? Let's live life like the Greeks. Let's conform to their lifestyles. Right? Read.
That are round about it. For
Right.
since.
So nobody had any questions on anything?
No, sir.
Okay.
Go ahead.
John, from the top. First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 11. In those days went out there of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, said, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us.
We was basically reiterating the topic.
Right.
The class, bringing it back to the tone of why we went over the class last Friday.
Right.
Just on letting them know it's a part 2, but are you an agent? Well, what made them an agent? What were they engaged in? What were they leading the people toward? So, go ahead, read on.
For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
So there were men amongst Israel that wanted to be around the nations, but not just them wanted to be around them, but they wanted to be engaged in the lifestyle. of the heathen. So think about the title of the class, right? Are you an agent? You got to say to yourself, right, as I'm learning my culture, as I'm learning my true culture, the Bible, the laws, the statutes, the commandments, well, what about me right now is heathenistic? It's like these other nations. What about me do I like about the Greek culture, let's take it to now, the American culture, American customs, right? They like to, for the women, they like to dress lewd. For the men, they like to sag. They like to smoke weed, drink liquor. You know, the fundamental things that everybody knows. They like to abusively drink the liquor. They don't live by no moral code, no standard. Jumping from woman to woman, being a whore, women jumping from man to man, right? So these are customs of the heathen. The heathen like this lifestyle. But the Creator didn't want us to be involved with those things. Because he knows the end all and be all of those things. It's corruption. But these men right here, in the Maccabees, they were persuading many of our people to get engaged with individuals like that live that lifestyle, which were the Greeks at that time, right? Read.
Verse 12. First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
So this device pleased them well.
And they knew full well what they was persuading people to go do. But because they had their own game, they had their own agenda, they didn't care about the people. They didn't have a love for the people. Their mind was so gone. They were just so engulfed with the lifestyle of the heathen that it pleased them. They were consciously aware. They had full knowledge of what they were leading the people to do, to cast off the Most High. Right? Read on.
First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 13. Then certain of the people were so forward, were herein, that they...
Right, so we touched on that. We don't want to reiterate the whole thing we touched over. Right. The point was that a lot of our people were really into what the Gentiles and the nations have to offer, right? They were really into the ideologies and the things of the other nations. And because of that, when we were catching affliction, going through trials, and going through all these things in the world, that we were battling against the heathen, right? You had our people right along with them, right? Trying to be in the gymnasiums and trying to do all the things that the Gentiles do. Now, same thing to this day and age. So we're going to jump into this second part. Go to John, the 11th chapter. Now, the Maccabees, that was during 168 BC, right? Now, we're jumping all the way through the timeline from 168 BC all the way up to 26 CE, right? And this would be during the time of Christ. Pontius Pilate was ruling. So you got the Greeks, you got the Romans ruling during this time of the Maccabees, right? Then you go all the way through this line where we're battling, we're fighting against the heathen, we're going to war with the heathens. Now, if y'all know about the Maccabees, the 7 brothers did what? They died valiantly, trying to keep the laws of the Most High, to be good examples. So now let's think about this. You got the righteous dying for righteousness and for the things that establish our laws in our culture, and then you have the sellouts. You have the other ones that are joined in with the nation and not joining the fight. And we're going to go into this mind state to show you about these individuals, right? So read John 11:48.
John, St. John chapter 11 verse 48. If we let him...
Right, read 11 and let's jump up a little bit. John 11 and read verse 40. Let's read verse 7.
St. John chapter 11 and verse 7.
11:47.
47. Then gathered the chief priests,
right,
and the Pharisees.
Right. So what we're seeing is that once again, this is our people. Now, I'm not saying all the Pharisees and all the Sadducees were sellouts, but we're going to see that majority of them, a lot of them were. Okay? Because when you read about the Pharisees and the Sadducees, these were two sects of Israel that were zealots or believing in the laws of the Most High. And they're the ones that delivered Christ up. So, if you didn't know that, you need to get in there and read about the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Right? So, a lot of them, remember, not every one down to the last drop were this way, but majority of them were. And Christ is always in their face and constantly reminding these individuals, right? So the chief priests, right? Remember, if y'all are tuning in to Sabbath morning class, right? What was it about the chief priests? When we looked at them, what were they supposed to show us? Who knows? Come on, I'm going to get y'all involved. What? Well, remember, we've been going over this every Sabbath morning. What was it about the chief priests? One of the main points that they were supposed to show us. What?
How to be righteous.
Okay. All right. What else? Because we read it in the law. What?
Would it be like the spiritual side of the law?
That's not wrong, but what they were supposed to show us in the law, it said they were going to show us the difference between the clean and the unclean. So you got these high priests that were supposed to stand and show us an example, right? And we touched on that last Sabbath morning class, was great, but we touched on that a lot, showing that they were supposed to show us the difference between the holy and the profane, right? Let's go there. Let's prove that once again. And we're going to go to the one in Ezekiel. Go to the one in Ezekiel real quick. Because just a reminder, man, that when you think of the Pharisees and the Sadducees, right? You have to think of these chief men, these men that were supposed to be representatives of the Most High, right? Now, remember, this whole point is to remind us, what are we doing? As we become Israelites and come more into our culture and our laws and commandments, what are we doing as representatives of the Most High? Right? Not just the chief priests, but everybody, right? So read that. Where is it at?
Ezekiel 44 and verse 23.
Go there real quick. Read that.
Ezekiel chapter 44, verse 27.
Go ahead.
And in the
23. 44 and 23.
Verse 44, 23.
Yes.
Come. Ezekiel chapter 44, verse 23.
Uh-huh.
And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and profane.
So this is what the elders, the leaders, the Pharisees and the Sadducees were supposed to do. They were supposed to show us, man, that not to be profane. Right? Look up the word profane real quick. Read on.
And cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean.
You see that? They were supposed to show us the difference between the clean and the unclean. So keep this in mind, right? These were supposed to be our representatives. Keep this in mind that when we look at Israelites, brothers and sisters online, it's supposed to show us the difference between the clean and the unclean. If you have a lot of our people acting, a lot of so-called air quote priests, acting like monkeys and fools and gangbangers and thugs, right? Then what would be the difference? Let's think about this. What would be the difference if we're doing this and representing ourselves in this way? It would not be done, right? That's why a lot of times it's easy for that thug cat to join the thug group. Right? It's easy for that gangster to join the gangster group. But a lot of times, if they knew what they were going to get in and they had to let go of the old man, and seeing that mind, thought process, that spirit was profane, a lot of these cats wouldn't be jumping in. But they got the mind thinking like, oh, I can still be a thug, a gangster, right? A brute, an animal, a beast, right? A wild man, and be a Hebrew Israelite. And that's where there's no difference between the holy and profane then. See, the prophets, the priests, these righteous men were supposed to show us the difference between holy and profane. We're going to get back to these Pharisees, these chief priests, right? Go ahead. What you got for profane?
Profane. Polluted and not pure.
Polluted. You're so polluted, right? Polluted and not pure. So they were supposed to show us the difference between the polluted. Right? Now, that doesn't mean that we can't come from the mire, we can't come from the dirt. But to glory in that and think like, oh, well, you can stay dirty, because we're all filthy, right? But to stay dirty is a problem. To think that, oh, I don't have to change is a problem. And that was up to the chief priests, the elders, the high priests to show our people what? Nah, you can't come in and keep that same way. Right? That sounds familiar, right? Every Hebrew Israelite always talks about who? Christians, right?
Churches.
And why? Why do we talk about the churches?
Because we call them hypocrites.
We call them hypocrites, right? Because one minute they're praising the Lord, next minute they got a mini skirt on, right? One minute they're praising the Lord and then what? Taking a break to eat that pork sandwich, right? One minute they're praising the Lord and what?
Next minute they roll a blunt.
Then the next minute they roll a blunt. That's why we don't want to deal with the Christians, right? We're like, man, that's not godly. So then what's the difference between the Hebrew Israelites that don't understand that that's not the mind? It's no difference. It's no difference. And that's the question that was posed before was, what is going to be the difference? Or rather, the question is, what are we doing to promote the right way of the Most High? Are we promoting the false idea, the false customs, right? Or are we promoting righteousness? So these are just some to spark your thoughts. Go ahead, read on.
To violate anything sacred.
What? No. Okay. You're reading on the definition?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead, read on.
Profane.
Uh-huh.
It says to violate anything sacred or to treat it with abuse.
Right. So that's what they weren't supposed to do, right? To violate the sacred things of the laws, statutes, commandments, and of the Most High. They were supposed to show us the difference between that, right? So, what is this supposed to do to us? When we come to the knowledge of the truth, you're supposed to click your mind and say, wait a minute. If I'm supposed to put off the old man and put on a new man, and I'm not going to be like the Christians, these hypocrites, well then, there's got to be a big change about myself. My thought process, the way I'm dealing, the way I'm acting, the way I'm being, right? How I deal with my people, my nation, and the nations, right? Okay, so let's jump back. That's what the Pharisees, the chief priests, were supposed to do. So let's go back to these chief priests. John 11:47.
St. John chapter 11 verse 47.
Then
gathered the chief priests
and
the Pharisees,
right?
a council,
Right?
said, What do we? For this man doeth many miracles.
Right. So Christ was doing many miracles, right?
Uh,
But look at their mind. Their mind is geared towards, how do we destroy this? You see? Now, where did they get this mind from? Right? It was a mind that came all the way back from the Maccabees. It was a mind that came back further than that, if you want to get technical. But we went over the Maccabees part to show you what Israelites started to be more like the Greeks and the Romans. And unfortunately, that's how our people nowadays, right? You got the mind state of the Gentiles. You got the mind state of America. And when it comes to your culture and your belief, it's like, it's foreign, right? You're like, man, like really? This is what I gotta do? Right? Beside from the putting down the whoremongering, adulterer, fornication, the drunkenness, and all these things, just the change itself is like, damn. That's what I gotta be. I gotta let go of all these things. So you gotta see that this mind is the same corrupt mind that we had back in the days. And it is a sellout mind. Because, watch, when we get into this, read on.
Verse 48.
Uh-huh.
If we let him thus alone.
If we leave Christ, the Mashiach, alone, go ahead.
All men will believe on him.
It said all men will what?
Believe on him. And take the Romans, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
You see that? Who called it? Who called it? You shaking your head. What did you call
They were greed.
it? Huh?
In this sense, it's greed. Like they're worried about themselves and their position.
There you go. They're worried about themselves. So what mind state is this? This is that COINTELPRO mind. It's all about them. And it's all about position, their power, right? Their wealth. They're not worried about Israel. They're not worried about the body. They're not worried about each other. They're worried about themselves. And this is a corrupted mind, man, that our people gotta run away from and gotta understand. When you're in that mind, what spirit you got on you? You got on the so-called white man's mind. We've been going over the Willie Lynch yesterday. We weren't online, but we went over to Willie Lynch. We went over. He brought all his books. We went over some of these books yesterday. Y'all missed it. I wish that one could have been online, because what we did is went over a little bit of history. What they did to us. We went over this one right here, the Black Holocaust for Beginners. Oh, it goes right into the history of what they did to us in slavery, right? We went over this one right here, Saharaz Ali, right? Sister was dropping on how they put a thought of division and separation in the woman's mind, this independent mind state, right? They put this independent mind state in their mind so they wouldn't build black families, black homes, right? We was going off last night, brother. Then we went over this a little bit, this document of West Indian history.
Native starved themselves.
Yeah. This was what?
The native women starved themselves and committed suicide.
Right. The native women starved themselves and committed suicide. We touched on this one right here, the Emperor Rome. Right? What was this one? What did we show out of this one?
They had black folks fighting each other in the arena.
Oh, right. They had our brothers fighting each other as the gladiators.
And the women fight dwarfs.
And the women would fight dwarf men. Right? I guess that was their form of mercy, right? But we forget these things. We forget that you were brought here as slaves. So you start to adopt the culture, the beliefs, the ideas, and join in. and think everything is cool, and then not seeing that your corrupt mind, right, is all about self. They don't teach black communities and black homes and black families unified. Go work it out with your black husband, your Hispanic, your Native American husband, right? They're not teaching us that. You know what they're teaching us? Oh, you know what? Girl, do what you like, do what you feel. Leave him, get another man. Now, by the time she's 40, she's what? She done ran through, hate men, and she's now what? Bisexual. Excuse me. She's bisexual now, right? But that's what they're teaching us. This is what they're doing in our communities, in our homes. Worry about yourself, don't worry about each other. And now you got this mind state. I'm worried about me. If we don't kill the Christ, if we don't come up against what these guys are saying, right? Our power, our individualism in America, our freedom to run around, smoke blunts and Black and Miles, right? And drink 40s, right? You're going to take that away from me. Because that's what freedom is to the black man. It's like, because we get to run around in the yard and kill each other, we're free. Where does that mind come from? It goes back to these men and women that what? Sold out during the time of Maccabees, and all the way up till Christ, you had them among them. All the way up till now, you still got that mind state amongst our people. I'm worried about me. I ain't worried about my example. You got to worry about your home. I worry about my home. Imagine if Rihanna would have stepped up and little greasy Lizzo would have stepped up and said what? Damn, man, you know what? Let me promote women that honor themselves by covering themselves up. Right? Think about that. That you don't have to show your body to be assertive or powerful or strong. Then that's what they would be doing. But they're not worried about that. They're worried about, first of all, they think like the white man. They think like America. They think like these nations, right? And then they're thinking about what? Ching ching. Right? The money. Right? So read that again. I want you to read that one more time.
If we, verse 48, if we let him thus alone.
Right, if we let him thus alone, go ahead.
All men will believe on him.
Go ahead.
And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
Right, you see that? He said he'd take our place out of the nation. So they were worried about position. These politics ain't worried about nothing else but their position. Right? They're not worried about black lives. Black lives don't matter because then your example would have mattered. Community would have mattered. You would know that homosexuality is destroying our community, our families, our households. And the idea of an independent woman is destroying our black households, Hispanic households. Y'all got to see this. The Gentiles got us twisted. What?
A lot of political positions or any position of authority, they're doing that. They get that for self-gain. Not to like, oh, I want to become the mayor and help my city.
Right.
No, I want to become the mayor to make myself exempt from the butt whooping that the nation puts on our people.
Right.
So I want to get this position of authority so I don't have to get that hellfire that you get.
Right.
That's it. And they hide it under the guise of, yeah, I'm for the people, but really I'm for myself and my household.
Right. And think about it. You've been educated by them, right? You've been taught by them. You're led by them, right? All these things that they've inseminated in our brain. What are the things you got? What are your guidelines? And what things are... It's like, okay, you created the boundary. I'm not going to cross those boundaries. Why? Because you already gave me the rules and the regulations. So no, you can't go in and, let's say if the brother, you know what? I'm going to act like Obama, right? I'm going to go ahead and shave off all my beard. I'm going to infiltrate, right? And I'm going to get up in the White House. I'm going to play perfect sellout till I get up in the White House, right? You get up in the White House and you start trying to make different rules. What do you got? You got the Senate. You got the Democrats, the Republicans. You got everything up there to what? Confine you within the rules. That's why that ain't going to work.
That's right.
You know what I mean? They're going to confine you in the rules. You start talking a little crazy, look what they do to Trump. Right? And he's a white man. They're like, wait a minute, bro, you're not going with the regularly scheduled program. And this is the thing that we have to see, man, that how we make an effect is rejecting this mind state. Remember, they're about themselves, they're about their power, they're about their riches. They're not about anything else, right? It's telling us here. Go ahead.
Verse 49.
Uh-huh.
And one of them, named Cephias, being the high priest.
Oh, it's actually here when we read down. Go ahead.
Being the high priest
Uh-huh.
that same year.
Right. So it wasn't everybody that was a sellout. But you see they were mingled among us. We're in St. John 11. We started at 47. We're reading down. Go ahead.
Come from the top.
Uh-huh.
And one of them, named Cephias.
Caiaphas. Go ahead.
Caiaphas.
Uh-huh.
Being a high priest that same year, said unto them, ye know nothing at all.
Right. He had a checkup. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Read.
Nor consider
Right.
that it is expedient for us
Uh-huh.
that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not.
Right. See, he understood. Look, this needed to happen. The Christ, the Mashiach. Right? Remember, these are people that supposedly knew about the laws. They knew about the Old Testament, right? But a lot of them didn't see the works of Yahushua as the Mashiach. They didn't see him as a savior, right? They seen him as a false prophet, right? Y'all do know that, right? They didn't look at him. Not all of them seen that he was the Christ. So, what did he tell them? Go ahead.
Verse 51.
Uh-huh.
And this spake he not of himself.
Right.
But being the high priest that year, he prophesied that Yahushua
Right.
should die for the nation.
See, so not everybody was a sellout. Not everybody did not understand, but a lot of our people that were mingled there, they were sellouts. It was about them. Their money, their gold, their riches, right? Now, let's look at these individuals and what character they had on them. Go to Matthew 23, verse 5. Check this out. We're going to put that character on glass, right? The COINTELPRO, we're going to put I'm worried about me. I don't care how I'm acting. I don't care how I'm looking. Right? I don't care about my example. It's certain key things to show us about these individuals. And for us to check ourselves, right? To make sure we are not moving like this. Check this out. Read.
Matthew chapter 23 and verse 5.
Go ahead.
But all their works they do to be seen of men.
See? Key signs. They're not doing it for the people. What did R.I. just say? They're not doing it for the people. These people were motivated to be what?
Seen of men.
It was about, I want to be seen of men. So, I want y'all to ask yourself, when you do things, is it just to be seen of men? See, that's a selfish mind state. A men-pleasing mind is a selfish mind state. The politicians got it, right? These gangbangers got it. Huh? Your so-called, the rich got it. 50 used to say it all the time. Ain't nobody did it for me. I did it for myself. Right? They all worried about self. They all ready to be seen of men. It's self-glory. Self-indulgence. And we got to watch ourselves. If we're on social media, we're on the Google machine, we're on the internet, and what is your motivation? Is it just because you want to say something to be seen of men? Because a lot of times it seems like you're only saying things to what? Troll. You're only saying things to have a negative effect on people. What about the positive? And I know it's rare. They don't want to click on the chat. You ain't going to get, like a lot of these classes, you ain't getting 500 views. Why? Because they're not clicking on, hey, I need somebody to check my spirit and make sure I'm sincere in Christ. They want to see us what? Arguing and fighting, right? Debating somebody. You see? Because it's all about man. It's all about vainglory. That's what we got to watch in ourselves. And we can identify these cats that really ain't about the Most High and Yahweh Shai. Because if it's really about the Most High and Yahweh Shai, well, let's really reach our people, teach our people. Let's be about each other. Not about, it's all about me. Right? It's all about only us. Bro, it's about Israel. It's about the nation. It's about the people. That's what Yahweh Shai was on. He wasn't about, you know what, it's just about me. You know, I'm doing this for Yahweh Shai. I don't care about you. I'm doing this for the Most High. I don't care about you monkeys. He said it all the time, right? I came not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. But he also had a love for his people. Right? He also had a love for his people. See, y'all got to see that this individualism, this I'm only cared about me, this I'm going to run over people, I'm going to create commotion. It's like when I watch some of these Facebook things, I'm like, bruh, like you're just doing this to cause commotion. And when people look at us, it's like, dude, they think that's how we are. They think all the Israelites are damn running around, cursing out people, yelling at people. It's like you were supposed to put some difference between the clean and the unclean. But you're acting like a dang monkey online and showing no difference. But because you can flow with scriptures, right? You know, Israel don't understand, man. You're going to be accountable for that. We're accountable for all of this. So, what you was going to say, Arya? Think about it. Go ahead. Read on.
They make broad their phylactery.
Right. So, what are we learning about the Pharisees? And about these individuals that were really about themselves? Right? It says they wanted to be seen of men. It ain't about getting the truth out. It ain't about the word of the Most High. It's about being seen of men. Right? If I do got the garments on, it ain't about just having the garment. It's about what? I want to outshine somebody, right? What they say, you know, you get the Ferrari, then roll back through the hood you came from. Right? That's how our people are. I want to go glow. I want to go glow and crap on all my people that are broke now. So I'm going to buy the $300,000 vehicle and go right back in the hood. Right? Nah. You're worried about yourself. What?
So now, but your works, like you're saying, okay, well, yeah, I'm going to do this for the Most High. But Yahweh Shai also said, when you've done it unto the least of thy brethren,
right,
you've done it unto me.
Right.
So you still got to show being selfless.
Right.
So he's saying, okay, if you're doing it for the Most High,
right,
then you got to do it with the people.
I mean, a wise man, a spiritual woman would know that everything we're doing here, it's towards the Father, but he tells you that your heart and mind is to the Father, but your works are to your brothers. Right? But see, it's a warped mind state. It's a warped thought process. You know what I mean? And we got to be aware of that. So we won't be corrupted. You know what I mean? We won't be corrupted. It's all about, it's just all about dropping the word at the cost of the care of nobody. I don't care about nobody. Yahushua loved his people. So the Pharisees, as long as they were right in their own mind, they can care less about how they were affecting people. They didn't care about the people, man. This is a real big demon that our people got on them. So I wanted to go through the warning signs to show you where that selfishness comes from. It comes from this mind state. So if you're doing things for man, you better check yourself. If your heart is not to the Father, doing it for man, then you got a problem. If you're looking for somebody to always pat you on the back, you got a problem. Right? The Most High sees it all anyway. So you don't need a pat on your back. And if you're motivated by that, then what's going to happen? When man don't give you a pat on the back, what's going to happen? You stop doing it. Right? You get your feelings hurt. So you got to watch for these things. Because that spirit, when it overcomes you, it yields a crooked, evil, selfish, self-indulged spirit. Watch, read on. Come on.
And enlarge the borders of their garments.
Right? So it's about the physical, the outward appearance. What our people is about, what? The shine. You know what I mean? It's like, bruh, nobody give a damn about your fake belt. Nobody care about your little fake shoes. All the shoes were created in China anyway. But you over here, you know what I mean? Like, no, but look at me though. Like, dude, it's trash. It's like this vainglorious garbage. Because it's not worth nothing. We should want all of our people to shine. We should want the nation to shine. Not, I'm doing this just to outshine you. You know what I mean? Just to show that, look, my garment is better than yours. That's trash. It's a trash mind state. It's a corrupt mind state. Right? And we got to watch. It's still in the hood. And then when you bring it into the truth, you won't care about how many people you're affecting. You won't care about your brothers and your sisters, what you're saying, what you're telling them. That's why we always talk about what? You want to be a teacher, do you not want to do it the right way? Or is it about your vainglory? Is it about you feeling good within yourself? No, it should be about the right way. Let's go through these characteristics of these sellouts. Of these cats that were only worried about themselves. Go ahead.
And love the uppermost rooms at feast.
Yeah, they were motivated for what? To get the best for themselves. Well, what about my brother? How are they doing? How are my people doing? Right? I'm good, but is everybody good? Am I motivated like that? And this is the problem with us as a nation, right? Crabs in a barrel. We don't care about that. We care about us. The individual. You know what I mean? Not affecting the community. Not affecting the neighborhood. But where does it start at? Where does this all start at? If you're saying, well, damn, how do I affect the community? Right? Right now, brother, I'm not a teacher, but how do I affect the community? Right? Well, if somebody asked you that, what would you say? Go ahead.
Lead by example.
Lead by example. Okay, what else? Lead by example. Go a little bit deeper into that. Who got it? If somebody asks you that, well, dang, I need to learn. You said I need to learn. The scripture said I need to learn before I teach. Well, how do I affect people then? What you going to tell them? Everybody. What would you tell them? You know what you tell them? Start with yourself. Your house. Your family. Your wife. Your kids. And how you deal with your brother. It starts there anyway, right? If you can't deal with your wife and your kids the right way, people are looking at you. Once you wear those fringes, right? You start getting all your shirts fringed up. They're going to look at you. Oh, he's an Israelite. Huh? If they see you backslapping your wife in the supermarket, or they see you sisters screaming at your husband, nigga, come on! In the supermarket, they're going to be like, whoa. That's how Hebrew Israelites are. That's how they get down. What was our job? To separate the clean from the unclean. So it starts with your example. But in order for you to even acknowledge that, what can you be? What can you not be? What? Who gets it? Who's with me? I know it's Friday, just got off work. What? You cannot be. Most of all, right? You can't be ignorant. The end. Pack up. Let's go, y'all. Y'all can't be ignorant. Shalom. God, what else? What else? They can't be selfish. They can't be individuals that only care about themselves. They got to have love for their brethren. Their brethren. Go ahead, read on.
And the chief seats in the synagogue.
Yeah, you can't just be worried about the political seat. You know what I mean? That's what did we just talk about earlier? And what did we talk about yesterday? What did they do to the black woman? Where about you? Be independent. Then they got the black men the same way. And everybody's so caught up into themselves that they're going to crap on everybody else. They might actually kill or murder to get there, right? They might actually just sell dope to their mama to get there. Right? Because why? There's no love for their people. There's got to be love for your people, man. Or else you go out there in the streets and you what? You swerve through traffic and you what? You want to kill them because they're out of order. They cut you off. You're supposed to be the one with wisdom. Why are you in applying the wisdom? So you end up being in a situation where you fight with your people. You arguing with your people. Right? How do you establish a spirit of brotherhood and unity? And in the spirit of, man, I'm trying to reach my people, not destroy them. That should be our motivation. Y'all get this? I mean, y'all see that, right? Well, what I wanted y'all to see even more is the characteristics of selfish individuals. These cats are worried about them. It says the upper seats. They're worried about position. You don't supposed to come here. This work and this word is not about position. It's not about, let me get the rank so I can go ahead and be in a position. It's about, let me get the position of a bishop to be more of a servant to my people. What more and how could I really affect them and show them the work and the word of the Most High? That's what this word is about. It's not about just the position, the seat. Right? But let's think about it. How many brothers are motivated by that? They want to be in the position, but they really don't want to go through the things that they have to, which is first and foremost is what? It says lay down your life for your brother. That ain't the mind state. The mind state is a Pharisee mind state. Is it not? A lot of times it's a Pharisee mind state. What? I want to get the position because I want to be seen. I want to get the position because I want to yell at white people too. Yeah, I want that clout. Yeah, exactly. He's doing it for clout, right? So we're finding out where we at for the brother that just came in.
Matthew chapter 23 and verse 7.
Right. Matthew 23 verse 7. We're going over the characteristics of selfish Pharisees. Individuals that were motivated and mingled in letting the mind of the heathen run them. Right? That Edomite Cain mind state. Because Cain was on it too, right? He was only worried about him. What?
Can you say like that's a narcissist or
Narcissistic mind state, right? It goes in there.
Okay.
It definitely goes in there. Self-indulge, this ego that's worried about themselves, right? That's a wrong idea. Go ahead, read on. Where you at? What verse you at?
Verse 7.
Uh-huh.
And greetings in the markets.
Right?
And to be called of men.
Right. See, and greetings of the markets. See, you see what they were motivated by? It was only about them. So sisters, you got to watch what you're motivated by. You can't come in just because your man's here. Like, it's gonna reveal. It's going to reveal you, because when the Most High starts to pull these things out of you and require it from you, it's going to show, oh, you was just men pleasing. You like the Pharisees, right? And this is a big theme with our people. It's not about glorifying the Father. It's about what? No, I want to shine. And if I could, I'll shine the Father. That's what they think. It's not about taking out a name. That's why brothers still don't know my rank. Still don't know my rank. Why? Because it's not about that. I don't got to post that everywhere. If you can't respect me for the works I've done among you, then that's that. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it's wrong for brothers to put their rank up there. What I'm saying is this. What is motivating us? What is motivating you? Right? That's all I'm saying is, remember, these characteristics are faulty and flawed that the Pharisees had. And it came from what? They wanted to be individuals and only worried about their house, their family, their pocket, right? Their agenda, right? These Pharisees and Sadducees, right? So they worried about being seen of men. They worried about their clothes, their garments. They worried about where they was going to sit, where they was going to eat, right? Go ahead.
And greetings in the markets.
Right. They wanted to hear the shalom, shalom high priest, shalom high priest, shalom brother, oh man, that's such and such. Right? They doing it online. Everybody's trying to get a name. Everybody's trying to be seen. Now, I can't say we can judge everything, right? Because we don't know men's motivation, besides the obvious, right? The obvious is going to give it away, right? Like, look, you just causing drama online as a Hebrew Israelite just to cause drama, right? That's obvious. But this is something that each and every Hebrew Israelite man and woman got to check in ourselves to be able to say, okay, my motivation is not to outshine the next brother, but to really get the word out. You see? Because I'm not saying we can check at everybody's intentions. You know what I mean? But the obvious are obvious. I know that. The ones that don't really want to sit down with their people and teach their people and show their people love, right? And gather our people together. You causing more attention online. With our people, bro, you are a what? You're an agent. Because otherwise, you'd be watching your actions and how you're looking. And a lot of you young cats that don't feel you need to be watched. Guess what? The scriptures say you're a spectacle to the world. Everybody's watching us. And they're watching how we deal, talk, act with one another. That's what I had to learn at a young age. I'm thinking, man, I got the word. I can say anything I want. That's not the case. That's not the case. How many people you going to offend and how many people you going to teach? And what I mean, not offend because of the word, because they're going to be offended because of the word. I'm talking about you offending, right? So go ahead, read out. What verse are you at?
Verse 7.
Go ahead. Uh-huh.
And to be called of men.
Right.
Rabbi.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you want to be called a man. You want that title. You don't want to... Listen, if you come in this school, we're not giving position and rank out like a flyer. right? That's this other school. Just because they want to, oh, they got so many schools. Bruh, quality, not quantity. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to give you rank like that. I'm going to say it again. You might be a soldier, but you ain't going to get to teach. Because you have to abide in the standard. And if you look at these different negative characteristics, if you still got these problems, then you can't be put up in a position. And that's what a lot of these so-called elders that are giving out rank like flyers, they don't see. They got a lot of schools, but guarantee you those schools will last 2 to 3 years and go. Why? Because they're not building the men with integrity. With integrity. It's supposed to be about integrity, and the standard is Yahweh Shai. So if you're coming into that mind to be called rabbi, you're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong school. Now, if you're coming in here to really be a help to the nation, it's going to show forth through your sincerity, through your actions. And all those other things will do what? Will lift you up in the spirit of the Most High. But we know the wrong mind. We're reading the wrong mind, right? Y'all agree? These Pharisees weren't in the right mind. Right? All right, what verse you at? You're going to read down to verse 7. That was verse 7? Okay, go to Luke 16 and 14. So, the title of the class, how are we agents part 2? Well, how are you an agent? Well, it's a divisive, separatist. I'm not really motivated on the will of the Most High. I'm motivated through some other agenda. So what's your plan? What's your true agenda coming into the truth? You got to ask yourself that. Right? And I know a lot of times that brothers ain't going to see through. They ain't going to see through your heart. We say it all the time. Do y'all not know that FBI agents and CIA agents are in all these schools? Yeah, hell yeah. Some of you women are agents. Hell yeah, they in there. Listen, know your history. Know your history. They always try to come in and try to separate and divide black communities. Right? Y'all got to know that. So, here's the thing. If you're in the spirit, you would know that there's no way. I don't know about anywhere else, but I know about here. You're just going to be put to work. Be an agent all you want, but are you ready to work? Because we're going to pick up on the agent things. Oh, you selfish. You only show up when you want to be heard, or you want something, or come on now. We see through that. The spirit of what weeds you out. But they're in every Israelite school. Why? Because it's about dividing us. It's about keeping the tension between the schools. It ain't about unifying us. And yes, a lot of that's done through stupidity too. You don't need an agent to do that, right? You don't need an actual CIA, FBI agent to do that. It's done through ignorant brothers that ain't got no chill and that don't got no true love in them. So, the whole point of the class is to show you the mind state, the thought process, so you can really check your integrity, your sincerity, your love in the spirit to say, damn, am I moving? Am I moving like an agent? Like the white man just puppeting me everywhere? Or am I moving like a man, a Hebrew Israelite man or woman that's ready to change and do and work for the Father? Am I doing it for that, or am I worried about me? All right, so read that, 16:14.
Luke chapter 16 and verse 14.
Go ahead.
And the Pharisees also, who were covetous.
Who were what?
Covetous.
They were what?
Covetous.
They were what?
Covetous.
They're worried about themselves. What they can get If you come in here for women, everybody's married. So skip that. Like, if you come in here to sell us something, okay, we'll probably listen to you, but we're going to know your agenda. Right? You heard about the juicer guy, the water machine guy that came in only 6 months to sell us a water machine. That's a diligent cat. To sell us a water machine, he studied class 6 months, and when we bought it, little by little, he dissipated away. Damn, 6 months? No, the one I got at my house, it was back in Houston, yeah.
It was in Katy, actually.
Yeah, it was like when we first got to Houston, he wanted us to buy the alkaline machine. You know what I mean? But, you know, if that's your motive, brother, come on now, I'm just being real with y'all. That's what people come in for, different weird things. Their mind ain't geared towards, damn, I need to get this knowledge to change. Right? I need to get this knowledge to work. Brothers have something that's going to add something to me. Right? It reminds me, remember the magician that ran up to the apostles, like, can I buy some of that? Simon, was it Simon the magician?
Yeah.
He was like, man, can I buy some of that? He's like, bro, you got a weird spirit. Get the hell away from me, you weirdo, right? He said, thou savorest not the will of the Most High. Right? But think about it. That be some of our mind state. And I know this is a check, right? Now you check in your mind, you're like, damn, okay. What's my motivation? Well, it's supposed to be that. Right? Because these Pharisees were what? Covetousness. They were worried about themselves. What were they coveting? If it was money, then I'm trying to get that. If it was a woman, I'm trying to get that. If it was, and I'm saying for sisters, we know the Pharisees were all men. These priests were men, but for sisters too. Like, where's your mind state at, right? Is it always you, and you? That's what the hood's doing, right? And what would they do in the hood? They'll kill you over them. I'm worried about me. I gotta get these Pampers, man. Like, bruh, it ain't that hard to get some Pampers. They give away Pampers free. Like, that's what, it trips me out with our people. I gotta go kill and sell dope because the kids, they need to eat. We're in America. Don't you know you can eat for free? There's a church right now within this city you can call up and get your rent paid. There's some type of community thing that they give out what? Free food.
Doing gas now.
Now they doing gas. But you gotta what? No, I gotta kill this ninja because that's the only way for me to get by. Our people, man, is backwards, man. They're backwards. See? And that mind was put in them by who? The heathen. Get yours. Man, Scarface really messed everybody up, right? That movie came out and everybody wanted to be what? Calacatriz. Right? Scarface, right? Nah, man. That ain't the mind. Right? So, Pharisees, covetousness. Read.
Heard all these things.
Go ahead.
And they derided him.
Right? They what?
Derided him.
Derided him. Right? Look that word up, derided. Let me show y'all something. Check this out. They derided him. This is that Pharisee mind. Okay? Selfish mind. Covetous mind. Derided. What you got?
The use of ridicule.
Right. Then they ridiculed him. So what are they doing? They doing everything to what? Bring the Mashiach down. Right? Lie on him. Right? Trying to play word games with him. That's what I'm saying. It's like we say, come with questions all you want. But don't come with games. Right? You get online. So let me ask you, brother. How many Adams were there? It's like, brother, you ain't coming to learn. You're not coming to learn. You coming to what? I want to see. Question. Do y'all teach the round earth or the flat earth? No, I'm not messing with y'all. It ain't round. It's like, bruh, really? Really, you judge everything off of that one thing? Round? It ain't round? Okay, I got y'all. Right? Then they want to argue about some frivolous thing. But you still on weed. You still popping pills. You can't take care of your kids. But guess what's important? Round earth and flat earth. You gonna fight with me on that. But what happens? It ain't about what? Our people change, renewing, doing what's right. It's about what? I'm gonna keep this animosity going. Derided, what is it? Derided. Derided. What else?
It says, one who laughs at another in contempt.
Right? Basically, it wasn't really about learning. Right? It's like now you treat him with contempt.
Yeah, like an enemy.
Like an enemy. What?
I was gonna say, like, they be trying to say, oh, his name is this or that, or pronounced like this or that. So if you're not saying his name right,
If you're not saying it this way.
yeah.
Right? You know, you heard me on that one when it comes to the there was no J. I'm like, brother, you're reading in English, bruh. What's wrong with you guys? Like, you want to argue about a letter of the damn alphabet. His name was no... Okay, but we know that. But if we say Yahweh Shai, does everybody know who Yahweh Shai is? Not everybody. Everybody don't know that. They might be thinking we're talking about some weird God. So we got to relay the message, right? It's just frivolous things like that what? I want to have something to fight about. Instead of saying, okay, wait a minute. Unless you speak it in a whole nother language, you can argue this J thing. Right? Other than that, bro, you speak it in English too, bro. Chill the hell out. And let's teach our people. Let's edify them. Because that's what it's about. Right? So, derided. Good one. Read on.
And he said unto them, Ye are they which justify yourselves before men.
Yeah, you see that? So they're only looking at men to be correct or right. This is a big disease. It's a disease in Israel. Right? Men pleasing. Word about you know it because a lot of you sisters, it almost seems like you don't got fear. You don't fear the Father. There's like, yeah, I know it says wives be obedient to your husbands, but I'm shit. But you said what? You said what? You're not gonna believe? You choose what you want to believe? Brothers choose what they want to believe. We back what? We back in Christianity then, right? We back there. The fear is supposed to be taught by, not by the precept of man, but by the Father. See, but what is not in us? A sincerity. Looking in ourselves and saying, damn, I'm fake as hell. Damn, I got no integrity. Damn, I'm running my mouth online and yelling at people online and cursing people out. Why? What's your agenda, brother? That's what gets me. It's like, brother, look how you look. It's like, what's your agenda? What's your plan? But their plan is to be seen of men. And that's got to be far from us. These are not characteristics of the Most High and of Yahweh Shai. Y'all see this, right? Okay, go ahead.
But God knows your hearts.
The Most High knows our hearts. That's what we're supposed to be thinking about. Like, how's the Father going to feel like this? I feel about this. My actions. How I'm dealing. Right? Go ahead.
For that which is highly esteemed among men
right,
is abomination in the sight of God.
And that's how the Pharisees were acting. They were an abomination to the Father. And Yahweh Shai always came back and was reminded in what? Right? He said, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. So we got to see this. And remember, these were Israelites, our people, right? And they were what? They didn't need Pontius Pilate to tell them, listen, go set up your Yahweh. They did it themselves. They didn't need somebody to be like, listen, man, everybody wasn't a Judas in the sense of somebody had to pay them. These cats were doing it to keep being in their position of authority. Y'all see that, right? Okay. Why? 2 Peter 2 and 10. 2 Peter 2 and 10. This is not too intense, right? Huh? Go ahead.
2 Peter chapter 2, verse 10.
Go ahead.
But chiefly them that walk after the flesh.
See, this mind state comes from them that are fleshly. Your whole motivation is what? How you feel, what you want, what you like. So sisters, are you motivated by your emotions so much that you can't see what the cost of your emotions is doing to your house? Right? Dan, you ever ask yourself that? You're like, Dan, you're acting a fool, there's not going to be no repercussions by what you're doing. I said that. I'm like, you don't even care how you acting. You don't care if you're offensive. You don't care if your people see you. You don't care that the Most High is looking at you. You ever dealt with somebody like that? For us that are believers, you ever had somebody in front of you just acting a fool and was like, damn, I thought you believed. I thought you were believing in the Father. But look at you. You through it just for your moment, you did what? Because you want that moment, you did what? You threw it all out the window. I don't care if the Father's looking at me. I don't care if the angels are looking at me. I don't care if you're looking at me. I'm going to act stupid right now and not care. We as Israelites are supposed to put difference between holy and profane. We were supposed to do this. Could you put yourself aside for the Father? Christ did. That's our example. What?
I was going to say, I've seen people acting like that, but I didn't know. I learned that here, that we're supposed to carry ourselves a certain way.
That's sad. That is sad. You heard what she said? She had to come here to this school. All the Israelites should be teaching this. There should be one school that should be pushing this agenda, because when Christ come back, is he not looking at our change? Or is he looking at how many white people we yelled at on the street corner? You got 998, brother, you're not going to make it. You one less white person, brother. Is that what he's going to say? Nah. Why we beat these classes and throw them out in the stratosphere to our people is because, first of all, we would be chaotic. This would be chaos. Right? You have brothers coming in, looking at women. Right? We've had it so many times. That's why cats don't stick around. It'd be the brother looking back at women like, yeah, sister, We've had that. And then what happened? He disappeared. Right when you put him on class, he what? He disappeared, because in his mind he was here for what? Damn women. So you got to weed all of that stuff out, and it's not going to weed out of us, and it's not going to weed out of the nation if the agenda is not to be what? Born again. It said, except ye be born again, you cannot enter into the kingdom of the Most High. That ain't no Christian born again, you know what? I'm renewed, it's really putting in work to change the ninjarism inside of us. There's a little ninja in all of us that what? wants to start talking with his hands and talking with. I know we ain't doing that. We definitely ain't doing that. I know I ain't doing it, but you know what? Not in that way, right? That's a real gay ninja, right? But there is foolery in all of us that we don't want to let go. You got to see what level. Where's your battle at? Right? And Yahweh Shai said, put those things off. Right? What is a priest? What is a priest? What is a bishop? Is he this brute, thug, wild, disrespectful? You know what I mean? Just talking any old way? Or is he dealing with people any old way? Nah. When I read in the Bible, Yahweh Shai had a standard. Paul, Peter, they had a standard. You know what I mean? So, besides what my elders showed me in the Bible, I read it myself. They had a standard. So, whoever's not teaching their body, Israelite brothers and sisters, that there should be a standard, I guarantee you there's a lot of chaos among them. Because there's chaos among us and we teach it. We teach it, but what happens? You still got brothers and sisters trying to what? Cling on to the old man. So we got to constantly be fronting and putting that spirit on blast. Come on. I'm not saying we're perfect because we teach and we're more into teaching in the spirit. No. A lot of brothers in our schools still want to hang on to what? The foolery. You see that? So this got to be taught. It got to be shown these characteristics that are bad and that are not right. Now, how many of y'all can feel these Pharisees and what their agenda was, that a lot of our people be on the same thing? Do they not? I hope you're not here for that. You know what I mean? Because it's chaotic. It fails anyway. All right? It's a waste of your time. Come with sincerity. All right, come on. So, who we're talking about? Read.
Verse 10.
But
chiefly them that walk after the flesh.
See, you're dealing with people that are self-motivated. When you're in this mind state and you're worried about what? The chief seats, being called the chief, right? You're the only ones with the truth, right? You know what? I'm worried about more how I look. And that being said, I'm not saying brothers can't have garments. Obviously, you see, we have nice garments too. But this ain't about a fashion show. You know what I mean? I'm up here with damn liquor and sunglasses and trying to look. What are you doing? You in a movie? You in the Matrix? What are you trying to promote? Are you trying to promote the word or this little fake facade? Don't be about that. Let's be about Yahweh Shai, man. They're fleshly. Read.
In the lust of uncleanness.
In the lust of what?
Unclean.
Because that's what that mind state is. It's unclean. And I'm going to remind you, where did we get that uncleanness from? We got it from the Gentiles. We got it from the nations. Because at one time we had black pride. We had brown pride. We had unity. We had love. You can't go down the block and borrow a cup of sugar from your brother. Dare to go to the house next door now. Huh? It's rare, right? You got to be careful. Y'all have to be there for a long time. A long time before you can know I can go borrow some sugar from that person. See, but that's sad. There's no more community, right? Go ahead, read.
And despise government.
See, they despise order. They despise the order of things. You can't come in and then hate the structure. Yeah, you want to circumvent the structure, right? So we tell y'all, don't come in with no drugs. Well, you judging me. Bruh, stop. Don't come in high. Don't come in on no pills. Right? It's things like that. You got to say, dang. brothers, we know your fringe game ain't up now, but have that in the future to be ready to get your fringe game up. Sisters, we know you don't got 1,000 dresses now, you just got the truth. But keep that in the back of your mind to do what? And you know what? I'm going to have to start getting me some dresses, right? Don't be like, well, because it's a government, it's structure, and there's order, and Yahweh Shai is bringing you to the order. He's going to bring you to order. Because how did we learn how to dress? Like the Gentiles. Walk, talk, act, feel like the Gentiles.
Right.
So y'all got to understand this. This thing that you are is what Yahweh Shai is bringing us out of. Right? And in order for me to come out of it, I can't be selfish. Right? I can't despise governments. Go ahead.
Presumptuous.
Go ahead.
Are they?
Read.
Self-willed.
They're what?
Self-willed.
Right, they're self-willed. Now, what does it mean to be presumptuous? Let's get it. Let's get the definition. It said self-willed. So these are the things that I'm going in the spirit for y'all, so y'all can understand what. Let me be motivated, man, not to be this way. I don't want to be self-willed. The Most High hates that. I don't want to be all about myself, my flesh. The Most High hates that. Presumptuous. What you got?
Presumptuous. Overstepping due bound.
Yeah. It's like, bro, have some class about yourself. You're coming in, have a little order about yourself. Don't, you're learning. So have some boundaries. Have some respect. And you'll see, we respect everybody. We ain't got no problem with respecting you. We just asking you to do the same thing. You know what I mean? You see, we let brothers and sisters talk. We just ask you what? You be respectful and don't try to overtalk the priest. Don't overtalk the brother, right?
Come.
You see me a lot of times, I got to shut up because you still talking. Right? Because I can't overtalk. I can't talk over you when you talking. That's chaos. You see, like, there's got to be some type of order about you. And I know for the most of the time, I know y'all get this, but how many of our people don't get it? They're wild. Our people are wild. They ain't got no order. They ain't got no discipline. And you know they don't do it in the house because they come among strangers and are wild, disrespectful, presumptuous. What else you got?
Willful.
See, that willful and self-will. The self-will is what? What were the Pharisees on? They were self-willed. It wasn't about my brother. Damn, how am I going to affect them? See, if you, in your house, you realize you're affecting your rib. Your rib got to realize she's affecting you and the children. If everybody's looking at things like that, it won't just be about yourself. You see that? It won't just be about, wait, I'm trying to please her. It'll be you're both trying to please one another in the spirit of Hamashiach. You understand that? But when you got one person trying to do all the pleasing, the other one is going to be selfish and self-willed. That's why you cannot strip your rib of how she needs to be according to the commandments. Because we're not holding back on you, on how you need to be as a husband. So you got to say, okay, wait a minute. These are the rules that not CHAAZAQYA came up with. Proverbs 31 wasn't written by CHAAZAQYA. That wasn't written by me. Those are just Ecclesiastes 26, 25, right? Judith, Esther, right? That wasn't written by me. That was written by the Most High to show the woman what? How to carry and conduct themselves as a holy woman. And if you, being an SFL, don't hold her to those standards, then what happens? She won't be that quality woman that she needs to be. Y'all get that? What, you got something else?
Oh, come.
Okay, let him in and I'll come to you, sis. Go ahead.
In bold defiance of conscience or violation of known duty.
You see that? Violation of known duty. What does that mean? You know better and then you do what? You just violate. You see? So this is that same mind. I know you're saying, well, where does this all fit in? It's the same mind of those Pharisees. They knew what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to be for the nation. Dedicate themselves to the people. You go through that setting up the priesthood in Exodus and Leviticus and Deuteronomy. They weren't just given the suburbs just to live it up. They weren't given the wealth and not just to live it up. They was given that to be a service to the nation. You see that? And our people don't get it now. A lot of brothers don't get it. A lot of sisters don't get it. What's up? What you got, sis? You had something?
Yes, it says overstepping due bounds, taking liberties, or
Taking liberties.
or failing to observe limits of what's permitted or appropriate.
Yeah. It goes back to that despising government. Something that's set up the proper way, right? And you want to what? You want to overstep those boundaries. You want to cross those lines because you basically you wild and.
That's the Democrat.
Sis, you be online too much. Listen, that's the Democrats, that's Republicans, that's Americans, and that's a lot of our tribes that picked it all up from the heathens. Don't get caught up into the, sis, do not get caught up into that's the Democrats. The Republicans and the Democrats, they're the same thing. They're the same thing. They all believe, show me which one is standing up for righteousness. And saying, you know what, man, you know what the scriptures say. So the Democrats and Republicans is what, here's the idea. What lesser evil? At the moment, mind you. At the moment. Because one is not ever more just than the other. But what lesser evil at the moment when dealing with the specific judgment do you want? They're not going to the laws of the Most High to certify themselves to the people. They're not doing that. So please, don't get lost in that. Yeah. Fox and CNN will they'll twist you. They'll spin you. Yeah.
It says presumptuous. When you say presumptuous, someone is presumptuous, you mean that the person is overconfident and is acting rudely or inappropriate.
Right, rudely or inappropriate. That's good, but the ones they put, that shows you what their actions are gonna be. Yeah, they're gonna be overstepping the bounds, and it's just chaos, right? Because it goes like it says, they despise government. Presumptuous are they? Self-willed. What did it go back to? What were the Pharisees? Self-motivated. Covetousness. Everything was about them. We got to run from these characteristics. Because those characteristics, the Most High will corrupt all your works, your actions. Right? He'll corrupt your house. Because you ain't right. Go ahead.
They are not afraid to speak evil of
dignities.
Of dignity.
Yeah. They run in their mouth about things they ought not to. Right? Dignities like you're running your mouth about things you don't even know about. And usually that's how we get to in arguments, right? People running their mouth about things they don't even know about. That's why you gotta just do like the scripture said. Avoid foolish and vain babbling. So this is this mind state, right? Go ahead, go to Romans 16 and 17 and 18.
John.
Read that.
Romans chapter 16, verse, you said 17 and 18?
Yeah.
Now I beseech you, brother,
right?
Mark them which cause division and offense.
Right, and going back to this, I want to use the word heretic, but we're going to still use the word, this agent. We gotta mark them that cause division. What are they here for? What are you here for? Right? How are they causing division? It can only be by the foresaid things. Right? They're out of the spirit. They walk in the flesh. They're worried about themselves. They're covetous. The other scripture in Timothy said the truce breakers, right? Go ahead, read.
Contrary to the doctrine.
Right. Are you walking contrary to the doctrine? Is there any standard? Do you hold yourself to a code and a code of honor? Or are you here for what? A good word. A good preaching. And then what? You go right back to your ninjaism and foolery. Right? No, there's got to be a standard. Read.
Contrary to the doctrine,
right,
which ye have learned, and avoid them.
And do what?
Avoid them.
See? You see? That's how we deal with agents. We know through your actions. We know. You don't even have to be an agent from the CIA. You're just an agent from the devil. You the devil's agent. Go ahead, read.
Verse 18. Verse 18.
Go ahead.
For they that are such serve not our Lord Hamashiach.
Who do they serve then, Ariah? Read.
But their own belly.
They worried about what?
Their own belly.
If you are always worried about you, and you're not thinking about people around you, there's a problem. And I'm saying that to everybody. Online, y'all watching. If you're always worried about, if you elder sisters and elder brothers are always worried about the burden of what the young put on you, and you don't remember that you're doing it for the love of Yahweh Shai, you can get into this self-motivated mind state. You get so high-minded, you're like, you know what? You don't think you have to go through anything? You got to watch that. You got a lot of brothers that are in high positions that think they made it to a certain point that they no longer have to what? Battle. Give with love. We got to check that mind state. That's a garbage mind state. We got to keep giving. You know what I mean? This is something I'm always... Test. This is something I'm always reminding myself of. But this is what you got to remind yourself of. And that's the so-called elders, right? And then everybody else. Read. Come on. Let's finish it.
And by good works
and
fair speeches.
Right.
Deceive the hearts of the simple.
Yeah. Where are you going to be deceived in a fair speech that leads you to foolery? That's the thing about it. And it's like you said, you hit it perfect, sis. We wake up with the YouTubes, right? We do. We wake up with the YouTubes. And you're like, dang, these brothers is dropping the truth. But there's a certain time that we got to go deeper and understand, okay, I know Christ is black now. I know Deuteronomy 28. It said we're the Hebrew, but we're going to go in cargo ships, as slaves. I know that. We're the chosen. I know that the white man is going to pay for what he's going to pay for all his sins, right? What now? Is that it? Because how many classes do you need? How many Deuteronomy classes do you need to know you got whipped as a servant? Your back was bleeding, right? How many classes do you need to realize that the white man is going to be cotton picking and picking your toes? I can only tell you that a few ways. Every class don't need to be about that. Then what? Then what's it about? It's you. You got to face you. What?
Right on time with what you just said.
Okay, go ahead. Where you at?
Deuteronomy 4.
Let's go there. Deuteronomy 4.
Sorry, verse 5.
Uh-huh.
Verse 6. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so and do them.
Yep.
This is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
We're supposed to put a difference between the unclean and the clean. When you're preaching, when you're an example to the world, it's not just to us. It's to the heathen too. Man, it's to the heathen too, because they need to see how great we are. What power instills in us through laws, statutes, and commandments, and true judgments, how his wisdom exceeds the little garbage science and beliefs and ideologies, right? That's what they're supposed to see. And that takes what? That takes, you're doing more teaching than just the white man is the devil, the nations are going to go in slavery. And y'all know how we love that too. Actually, the next class Tuesday is going to be about that, right? For the new system. But I don't have to keep going over that to remind myself, right? My daily motivation is, what am I doing? What are you doing? The Most High got he said he got the craftiness. He got he's gonna, and I'm butchering it. He said he cast a crafty in their craftiness. He got them. What are you doing? Right? To be right before the Father. So that's important. All right, come on, let's finish this out. All right, go to Isaiah 58 and 10. Isaiah 58 and 10 to 12, and somebody give me Ezekiel 13.
Isaiah chapter 58, verse 10.
Go ahead.
And if thou draw out thy soul to the heart.
I'm sorry, Isaiah 56, excuse me, that was my bad. 56 and 10, my bad.
Isaiah chapter 56, verse 10.
Go ahead.
His watchmen are blind.
Straight out, right? His watchmen are what?
Blind.
His watchmen are blind. Are you blind or are your eyes open? You see? Well, what are we trying to embody? Are we trying to embody these faulty characteristics? This self-indulgent, self-ego person? Or are we trying to be the right example? I know one thing. One thing that really never leaves my mind. When he says, I never knew you, you worker of iniquity. And that person said, what I taught in your name. Who'd y'all think that was about? The Christians only? No. Tripping. I taught in your name, I preached your word, I did all these things. I never knew you were a worker of iniquity. You know how much that eats me up? Because I'm always watching and saying, what is my motivation? Where's my thoughts at behind what I'm doing? How am I treating? And how am I relaying his message? Because in the end, I do not want that to be said to me. That's my whole motivation. I'm scared as hell. I don't know about y'all. I know that he that knoweth shall be beaten with many stripes. So I know y'all be motivated. You know what I mean? You want to tell everybody the truth. But are you a hypocrite? That's what you should be saying to yourself. Yes, we want to get the word out. But are you a hypocrite to where you want to get the word out so much but you ain't even following it yet? Damn, should that even be at the forefront of your mind? Like, I'm telling people to believe in something that I haven't even fully followed myself yet. I'm still wild. I still can't control myself. And I'm not saying you're going to have to be perfect, but there be you still on a low level where you're arguing with everybody, fighting with everybody, you still masturbating, it's like, but you're like, you haven't even scenes and said, dang, you know what? Now I can run my mouth. It'd be fake zeal. It'd be fake zeal. You gotta look inward. Right? Isn't it? I keep saying that. Shouldn't it be about you being able to look in the mirror? I had to do it to myself. At a certain time, I was like, no, I'm not that guy. I sound like I'm that guy. The words, I had a lot of scriptures, but I realized, man, I got to step on my standard. The inward guy. And that's what everybody has to realize. All these brothers and sisters that are going to ignore this class, right, that don't even get these classes, everybody's going to be accountable. It's our job to tell y'all who's among us. Like, you're going to be accountable. So don't just be ready to pop your gun. You're a Hebrew Israelite. You're a Hebrew Israelite. You're a Hebrew Israelite. Right? Come on, that's good. Well, let's show them how to walk the walk. Right? Let's show them how to walk the walk. What? Who had their hand raised? Yeah.
I was going to say to the, I didn't know you workers of iniquity, that it goes with the faith without works is dead. Like
Yeah.
You can have all the works, but you didn't have faith.
You didn't have faith. It's dead. Right? And what type of works are you having? Right? It's dead works. Exactly. So, just a reminder, man. It says, read it again.
His watchmen are blind.
Right. Why was his watchmen blind? Because they engrafted old cloth on new garment. Right? These Pharisees, they never picked up on the spiritual things that Yahushua was bringing. And they what? If you think you're going to come to the truth and mesh it together, and for all you Hebrew Israelites out there in Hebrew land, right? You think you're going to mesh the foolishness of the hood, huh? Your little thug mentality in with the word, your little wild foolery. It don't match. It don't match. We got to rise above that craziness. We got to rise above that mentality. Right? It ain't just about the debating. It ain't just about the arguing. It ain't just about you being right. It's way more than that. Right? Come on, read.
And they are all ignorant.
They're all ignorant. I like how I was reading this. They're all ignorant. Read.
They are all dumb dogs.
You see that? Are we the dumb dogs? Come on. No, we shouldn't be. But we know what made them dumb dogs. They were covetous, self-motivated, right? They didn't want to hear the word and really get it in them and work on themselves, right? That's what made them dumb dogs, blind. Go ahead.
They cannot bark.
They cannot bark. Read.
Sleeping.
Read.
Lying down.
Right.
Loving to slumber.
Read.
Yet they are greedy dogs.
They are what?
Greedy dogs.
There you go again. One thing about this mind state is they're greedy. It's only about you. Right? We got to expand our mind. We always hear it all the time. Man, we got to get together as black people. We got to get together as black people. Yes. You can have a million. You can have a million. We all got million here. Right? But if you're a child molester and he's a homosexual and he's a drug dealer, what is all of our millions going to do? Huh? Come on now. What is all of our millions going to do? So when they start talking on this damn black people need to get together, yes, we need to get together, but our foundation got to be Yahushua. If it's not Yahushua, it doesn't matter. We can always get together, but we can't even communicate when we get together. We can't sit down and really appropriately talk to each other. Everybody's always right? You're right, I'm right and everybody's always right. And nobody is there to really listen to each other and see what we can get from each other. So it never goes nowhere. Because we don't got the love of Yahweh Shai. Our motivation, a lot of times, our people is motivated what? Self. Greedy dogs. Go ahead.
They are greedy dogs. Which can never have enough.
You can what?
Never have enough.
Yeah, you can never have enough. Wow, San Antonio just popped up. They just popped up online, and guess the title of their class? Selfish Leaders. We must be in the spirit, right? We must be in the spirit. It just popped up. I'm like, what? Is this for real? But be in the spirit. The spirit just be. But this is really what needs to be talked about. Because we're trying to raise leaders. It's not about quantity, it's about quality.
Right.
Who the next brother, the next Zion that steps out and says, I'm ready. Is he going to be the whoremonger? Is he going to be the guy that is worried about women, money? We can't set that guy up. All of our works will be destroyed. Our works can't be the things we're talking about. Like talking about the Christians, right? We're talking about the Christians, and then next thing you know, we're setting brothers up in that mind state. No, the next Zion got to be like Zion. He's got to have a code, right? And I'm just using men around us, but we know the Peters, the Pauls, the Titus, the Timothys, right? We know that. Because when Yahweh Shai left, there were still men that still upheld those examples. Right? So we can't be these greedy dogs. Right? Go ahead, read.
And they are shepherds.
They are what?
Shepherds.
Read.
That cannot understand. They all look to their own way.
And that, you see that? This is what we got to be aware of. That's what the Pharisees and Sadducees are on. They were about their own way. Go to Ezekiel 13 and 19.
Done. Ezekiel chapter 13 and verse 19.
Go ahead.
And will you pollute me among my people?
Go ahead.
With handfuls of barley.
Yeah, he said, you're going to pollute me among my people. Now, remember, barley back in the days was what? That was your wealth. Remember, we were herdsmen, we were farmers, we're agriculture, right? So he's like, you gonna put, but this sounds even more cold, right? For a hand of barley, you gonna sell me out. Jesus Christ. You gonna pollute my name for what? A few pennies. And that be our motivation. You can't come and be motivated off of these things. You got to be ready to give up and lose and for our people. And the Most High ain't going to have you begging for bread and you dying, but still, it can't be, oh, I'm motivated because I got to get paid. Because that ain't going to happen. Y'all have to understand this. Read.
And for pieces of bread.
Yeah, you're gonna pollute my name for barley, handfuls of barley and a piece of bread. Read.
To slay the souls that should not die.
You see that? You're slaying the souls of the young brothers and sisters. We have to understand and watch our example. We have to watch how we're building ourselves and coming into the truth, because or else you're going to be a destroyer to the young souls. Young examples. I'm going to say it again. You mothers, your example, your daughters are watching, your kids are watching. Fathers, your kids are watching. Well, they don't see me. No, that spirit be in the house. Huh? You be thinking what? You gonna run and hide in your room and drink the beer? But Dad, I'm still knowing that you what? You drunk all the time. Right? There's a spirit in the house. Right? You doing something defiled that you shouldn't be doing? Guess what? Your kids be picking up on it. And you be like, damn, where did he get that from? He didn't see me do it. It's a demon in your house. You're polluting the souls. That's why we got to raise above this mind state of nobody sees it. The Most High, y'all don't see the Most High got everybody on lock? Nobody's escaping nothing. From King Supreme to the janitor. He got everybody on lock. It's all in his hand, right? The whole world, right? Go ahead.
And to save the souls alive that should not live.
That's what you want to do? You want to destroy the righteous, promote the wicked? Read.
By lying.
Right?
To my people that hear your lies.
You see, so, listen, I got a lot more, right? And then you can go to, you can throw Matthew 23 in there, but we ain't got time. You know, I don't want to take it over. We took it over last night. But this is what we have to run from. And it's in us if we're self-motivated. You see all the negative attributes that these men had? Women too. We can't be that. We can't be the sellouts, and for the cause for the cause of my flesh, I'll destroy everything in sight. We know the outcome of that. Y'all get that, right? Okay. Anybody had any questions on that? Questions off the topic? I don't know if you got a chance to ask that in the beginning. Have we had any questions off the topic or anything they wanted to touch on? Anybody online? Okay. Sisters, brothers, nothing? Live? While we wait to see if anybody got anything online, remember, it's the Sabbath. Alright? The demons are out. Alright? It's hot out there. You know what happens when it gets hot out? Those demons, man, start coming out butt naked. You know what I mean? Men and women. Alright? So, watch. Stay away from me. Guard yourself. Right? It's out there. Right? Y'all know the deal. We are going to go out tomorrow. It's going to be hot. Alright? I wanted to hit the night street speaking tomorrow night, though. So it might be a little cooler. But that was the agenda for last week. But this weird rain. It's like rain one day and it's summer the next day, right? So, yeah, they definitely going to be out tomorrow night. So that's what we're going to do. Did anybody have anything online? Okay. And you reminded everybody, since everybody's here now, the High Holy Day coming up, which is on what day? The 11th of what? June 11th. We're going to be here. We're going to feast here. All right? And that's Pentecost, right? Yeah. For Pentecost, which is 50 days after the Passover. All right? We're going to be commemorating this, and you do a holy convocation when you commemorate that. Right? We don't sacrifice animals no more, so what are we doing? We're getting together and eating. Right? All right? Commemorating the day and uniting. Y'all got that? All right, so that's what we be doing. And we're going to keep reminding y'all on the 11th. We know for a lot of new brothers and sisters, you're not used to really keeping the holy days like they're supposed to be kept. So we're going to remind y'all and leave it up to y'all from there. All right? Nothing online? Okay. If that's it, let's salute everybody online, y'all. Say shalom. Shalom. We'll see y'all Shabbat class in Houston tomorrow morning.
Up in the kingdom, chilling with Yahweh and all the brothers.